All right, so what I'm about to show you here is honestly absolutely shocking. This is shocking. So this is from Newsweek. Donald Trump does not get post-shooting poll boost. What? Donald Trump has not received a poll boost in the first presidential election survey conducted since the failed assassination attempt on Saturday. The poll conducted by Morning Consult of 2,045 registered voters on Monday reveals that Trump is leading Joe Biden by just 1 percentage point with 46% compared to the president's 45%. The poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 2 percentage points. Now, I should also point out, by the way, the polling number for the popular vote overall is kind of irrelevant. It's all going to come down to the swing states, and Trump is leading in all 7 swing states. The findings also reveal that Trump's lead has narrowed slightly since the firm's previous survey conducted between July 12th and 14th, which put Trump 2 percentage points ahead with 44% to 42%. So in other words, they're saying post-shooting, Biden has actually gone up a little bit. That's what they're saying according to their numbers. In the week before the shooting, national polls had Trump as the favorite to win the White House, leading narrowly in the 6 key battleground states of Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, with some of the results falling within the statistical margin of error. Winning those states would likely allow Trump to comfortably claim victory in the Electoral College. The latest poll, where Biden has narrowed the lead, could come as a surprise to many analysts who predicted that Trump would see a surge in the polls after surviving the assassination attempt. One analyst predicted it would be a unifying moment for the nation, which would propel him to total victory in November. The now iconic image of the bloody Republican candidate defiantly pumping his fist at the cheering crowd was circulated across the world, with international newspapers leading with Trump defiant and Trump wins election here. Despite those images, the first poll since the shooting shows Biden narrowing Trump's lead, which remains within the statistical margin of error. Biden is hoping to close the gap while defending his place on the Democratic ticket, while facing enormous political pressure for him to step down from some members of the Democratic Party. By the way, they're trying to go ahead with rushing through his approval as the candidate. They want to do it like very soon, in like a week or two, and they want to do it because they're claiming, oh, the Ohio rules make it so we got to do it early. That is not true. That's what they're claiming. It is not true. So they want to rush it so that it can't change come the convention. And you have Democrats now who are trying to say, hey, at the very least, hold off and don't do it yet. We'll see who ends up winning that battle. But really, they just got to fight it off for like a week or two more. And then in theory, they view themselves as good. They view themselves as good. So right off the bat here, I got to give credit to my wife. Me and Crystal were talking about this after the shooting. And what I said to her is, I can't imagine a scenario where Trump doesn't gain points after surviving this assassination attempt and putting his fist up defiantly with the blood coming down his face. I can't imagine a scenario where he doesn't go up in the polls. Why? Because let's keep it real. Many times in the U.S., the majority deciding factor in an election is vibes. Certainly for presidential elections. Vibes are huge. The energy is huge. And if something seems like it's a storybook, it's a storybook, right? Like it's going to go on like the storybook. And that's what this seems like. It seems like Hollywood couldn't have scripted this. So I said to her, there's no way. We're a vibes-based country in our politics oftentimes. He's going to go up. Now, I said, it's not going to be like Reagan where you got like a 22-point bump, but I could see a 5-point bump for sure, for sure. Well, guess what? The evidence we have to this point shows she was right. Now, what was her argument, by the way? She was like, Trump is a known entity. He is the most known entity. He's been around, been the number one name in politics since fucking 2015. Everybody has an opinion on him, and they're set in that opinion, right? It is what it is. That's what it is. And that's why, despite all of it, all the convictions and all of the legal problems and all Biden's problems, like, you haven't seen much movement in the polls. It's been relatively constant the entire time. Now, in the Republican primary, you saw a big movement when Trump was, convicted or had new legal problems. Trump would go up in that scenario in the primary polls. But in the general election polls, he was sort of consistently down 2 points, 3 points, or whatever it was. And within the past month or two, it became he was leading by 2-3 points. But she said, it's just not going to, we're so partisan, it's so hyper-partisan, and everybody's so set in their opinions, this is not going to change anything. It's going to be like the same. Now, I don't know if she said that publicly, but this is what she told me in conversation behind the scenes. And then now, the first evidence that we get, post-shooting, she's right. It didn't change anything. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So look, we'll have to, I'm giving her props right now. We will have to see if this stays the same, because I would still bet on some semblance of a poll bump. You could always have an outlier poll here or there. This is the first poll since the shooting. Let's talk when we see 6 or 7 new polls, right? Give it a little bit of time, too, the reality to set in of the shooting. You know, give it 2-3 weeks, something like that, and then look at the new slate of polls. And I still think he's going to get at least a little bit of a bump, but maybe not as much as I thought, bro. Maybe not as much as I thought. Maybe not 5 points. Maybe it's 2, 3. But as of right now, the evidence we have now indicates she was right, that it didn't change anything. And I got to say, I am very surprised by that. And I'm also sort of enthusiastic about that, too, because I would like our elections to not be based on vibes. And I think they are too much at this point in time. So, okay, I'm glad that you guys are proving me wrong out there. I'm glad you're saying, no, it's not about the vibes. We know this was like Hollywood. We know this is a 1 in a billion type thing. We know we're living in a movie, but fuck it. Fuck them. We don't like them. Yeah, now, and the other thing is, how much are Biden's stumbles and fumbles and debate failures and interview flops, how much is that going to impact him? Well, to this point, he's sort of staying the same, as in he's still consistently down, but it's only 2 or 3 points and it hasn't really changed much. So I don't know, man. Politics is broken, or polling is broken, or both of them are broken. But either way, color me shocked that there has not been a post-shooting poll boost. I can't. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around it, but that is what it appears at the moment. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.